How the game played out, we went into a game where we were playing a team that we thought we were better than, that we knew we were better than, that we performed better than throughout the year. The kids said we should be able to score 100 against them. So we were a little cocky going into the game. Before the game, I told them we're playing a varsity team, anything can happen. So the ball didn't bounce our way during the game. So they got frustrated. I could see embarrassment setting in, and it was tight and close at the end. So now at the end of the game, and I didn't hear any slurs from anybody because I'm focused on what's going on the court. Towards the end of the game, the only thing I could hear was the banging on the gates. And I'm trying to talk to the players on the floor. I think it was like 40 seconds left. I yelled to one of the officials, "Why are you still calling fouls? Like the game is over, like kind of let it go." Because I saw it wasn't in a good place. And I saw that from the perspective of player versus player, not player versus fan. That's why I instructed them to stay on the bench. We're not going to go, and just the guys that were on the bench, because those are the ones I pulled out because I thought that they were getting over emotional. Stay on the bench. We're going to go straight to the locker room. We're not going to shake hands at the end of the game, and then I'll shake their hands while the coaches, take them up. So I thought I was doing what was right in the best interest of the kids at that moment. When we got up to the locker room, when the game was over, a player started to walk and then sprinted, which caused a chain reaction where the other players followed, the coaches followed, parents followed, some DMA parents followed. And from what I saw when I got up there, I saw a lot of us. You were restraining some people, our kids. It was a lot of us handling us, and there are a couple of DMA parents up there trying to help out, maybe saying some things that I can't confirm because I didn't hear it, that might have been irritating. And parents started yelling at parents, kids started yelling because you yelling at my parent, and it was just, it looked very bad. I do not want to end my career like this because it was established before this incident. I don't want to see players that I've coached for 4 years end their season like this. But at the same time, I have 4-year players, the catalyst to this, that you invest time in, you talk to, and you tell them directly, and they say, "I'm good, coach." Like if you had a player that says, "I'm good, coach," and they get up and just do the complete opposite of what you asked them to do, I might have sat in a locker room when I was emotional and probably with haste, like, can I trust you? Like I told you specifically, don't do X, Y, and Z, and you do it. But this is not. I know I'm the fall guy. I get thrown under the bus for this, and I'm cool with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. You can blame him, but I'm going to catch the brunt of it because I'm going to catch it from the end of the players, which I've already done. Because during this process, the players have thrown me shade since Tuesday, because they think that I'm having secret meetings where I'm not telling, you guys what I'm telling him. I'm being completely honest with you.
Since Friday, I've heard a number of things from some of the folks in this room and now here this morning. I've heard that it was the officiating. I've heard that it was now the coach doesn't have trust of the players. I've heard that it was a hostile racial environment that caused our students to explode. I've heard a number of things, and I continue to go back to the original intent of my involvement, which was what did our players do and what then ensued, and that was the purpose for my decision, which goes back to they were instructed by the coach and the assistant principal.
That's not true. You do what you want to do, and I'm going to do what I have to do. Because by any legal means necessary, y'all, and I'm asking the city council members present right now, okay, at the point that we know full well that this was provoked in a racial manner. Yes. I'm asking you if this is not overturned for the city to file an injunction in Chancery Court prohibiting the state from going forward.
What has unfolded, we have a strange circumstances here. There needed to be some type of punishment for these team, the athletes and things like that. But the harsh punishment of them losing senior night and to not partake in the tournament after they worked hard to keep their grades up and to be involved in activities. So for the district, or actually the school, to make that decision without due process, without asking the parents their take on everything, I think that's the harsh reality of everything. For a student athlete, your student first, they definitely upheld that because they're still eligible to play. And as an athlete, you play, and as a senior, you play for the postseason. So they worked hard in the preseason, in season, to get to the postseason and potentially compete for a state title. And now that's being taken away by actions. We know that they were wrong in some of their actions, their emotions, but they already lost senior night. They already lost 2 games. I think the lesson has been learned by the kids.
Not just the students, all the students in the school, but especially the team players. The fact that they have all this time, all these years worked to get to this point in their life, which is historical for them. They can never ever relive this again. To possibly become champions, all the sacrifices and hard work they did of going by the rules, doing the work, keeping up their grades, discipline, missing out on events because they have to practice, and to get to a point where it's been dismantled, just blown right out of away from them because of adults. Because the actions that was displayed in here were the actions of the adults, and that was controlled by adults. And from hearing all the testimony of what those witnesses stated, the wrong actions was done by the adults. We heard no recommendations to any of the adults, any of the other parents that caused the energy that was in the room that our children reacted to. There was parents that said that even they did all they could to restrain themselves. So then when our children might show some level of emotion from all this brutal direct attack to them, they are reprimanded because they reacted. And then the decision for the reactions was not based on total knowledge of the facts. Most of that team are inner city children, and we already have problems with youth in authority. So the fact that the person they trust, their coach, their principal, and the leadership, that they just left them by the wayside to deal with this situation all by themselves, and they are the only ones that were reprimanded. No one else was. That's the issue that we have of building trust between the generational gap between us children and us adults. A perfect example. So we need to look at that, study it, and make sure we do not ever make this mistake again on the behalf of our children.